Yo, it's saying it's your boy here. Today what I've got for you is the F1 2015 season preview, where I'm going to be talking about each team individually, about their 2015 campaign. So yeah, let's get right down to it. We'll start off with Mercedes, and boy, what a start they've made, racking up significant amounts of lap. Their car's been running pretty much faultlessly. And yeah, they've got Nico and Lewis again this year. Nico trying to get his first world title. Lewis trying to get his third world title to emulate Ayrton Senna's 3 world titles. So yeah, that should be a pretty juicy battle. Both of them having a lot of hunger underneath them, of course. But this time I think it'll be a little bit more. I think the hunger will be a little bit more great than it was last year. So yeah, especially as Nico has had the experience of losing a world championship. So yeah. Next is Ferrari, and wow, what an improvement they've made from last year. Last year their car was absolutely terrible, a little bit unreliable, and very, very slow. But now this year they ain't. I think now they are. I think in Jerez they were the fastest, the quickest, one of the quickest teams out there in Jerez. And then into Barcelona they were sort of up there. They were in the midfield, like around 3rd to 8th type thing, like that. So yeah, I think the team looks really revived from last year. They've got some great people in the team this year. Pat Fry and James Allison, who could play that are going to play a big role in the team and whatnot. Vettel and Raikkonen this year. Excited to see what Vettel can do for in the first year as a Ferrari driver. Of course, his hero Michael went to Ferrari and completely turned the Ferrari team from a bad one to a good one by winning 5 world titles in his time with Ferrari. So I'm excited to see what Vettel can do this time in a Ferrari car. Yeah. And with Kimi Raikkonen, excited to see what he can do second year as a Ferrari driver. Last year he was really suffering with the comfort of his car. But I think this year he looks really more comfortable in the car than he did last year. So I think there's going to be a major improvement from last year from Kimi Raikkonen. Next is McLaren, and wow, what a disappointment they've made during winter testing. And yeah, during winter testing, their car absolutely struggling throughout testing. Little mileage, car absolutely unreliable. The car was just absolutely a mess, to be honest. And to top it all off, Fernando Alonso crashing out of turn 3 on the second day on the second test at Barcelona, spinning out of turn 3, crashing into the wall, and as a result giving him major concussion, which then led to a memory loss of 20 years. So yeah. And as a result, Fernando Alonso will not be running for the Australian Grand Prix in a week. That will be driven by Kevin Magnussen for Australia. And hopefully he will be back for Malaysia. I hope he does make a speedy recovery. I hope he makes a really steady and speedy recovery. And I look forward to seeing him back on the F1 grid for Malaysia, if that is the case. So yeah. Next is Red Bull. Red Bull did alright. I mean, they had problems, particularly during the first test. Danny Kvyat went and I think he took off his front wing, so he had to do the rest of a day. I think he had to do a rest of a day at Jerez. I think it was day 2 or day 3. he had to do the rest without the front wing. So yeah, I think that would have been. So I think that was a little bit frustrating on Danny's part. Not quite sure how he did it, to be honest, but yeah, all I know is that he lost his front wing and had to do the rest of the day without the front wing. So yeah. Yeah, the car had a bit of niggling problems here and then there, but yeah, overall it's alright. The car, not so quick, to be honest. Didn't really show much of a big statement. Didn't show a big statement to how they're going to be in a week in Australia. So we're going to have to wait and see how they are in Australia for practice. So yep. But Daniel Ricciardo is now lead number 1 alongside Danny Kvyat in his first season with Red Bull. Excited to see what Danny Kvyat can do in the Big Brother team. Last year he was in the sister team, and yeah, he ran good. He didn't really show much of a big. He didn't show much big potential when stepping up to Red Bull. In Toro Rosso, the only big upshot that he got was a 6th place start in Russia in the Toro Rosso for Danny Kvyat. So yeah, he is good in qualifying, but we're gonna have to wait and see how he is in race trim. So yeah, Daniel Ricciardo, excited to see what he can do as a team leader. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of hype going on for this dude because last year he absolutely killed his teammate Sebastian Vettel by winning 3 races. So yeah, interested to see what he can do this year. So yeah, next is Williams, and Williams had a good one. Their car reasonably quick, especially in the final one where Valtteri Bottas went 3rd quickest, but mind you, he was on the super soft, so we're gonna have to wait and see how he is, how quick he is in qualifying in Australia. Yeah, their car ran good, no real big problems at all, and yeah, like I said, their car ran, and their car was really quick. So yeah. Oh, by the way, they had Valtteri Bottas and Felipe Massa are still in the car this year. Excited to see what Massa could do in his 2nd season with the team. Last year he had a middle-ish one, a couple of DNFs, and then but then as well he had a couple of good podiums here and there. So I'm excited to see what he can do this year. Hopefully there'll be a massive improvement from last year when he had a couple of DNFs. Some weren't his fault, so yeah. And Valtteri Bottas, excited to see what he can do this year. He had a really good season last year, scoring a couple of podiums here and there. And yeah, I think this year will be more of the same, to be honest, from Valtteri Bottas, to be honest. Maybe there could be a chance of a win. We'll have to wait and see. So, yeah. Next is Force India. Now, Force India didn't run in Jerez, but in the 2nd test of Barcelona, they did run the old 2014 car until the 2nd of the 3rd test when they ran the new car, when the new car ran in anger, and and what an impression that made, to be honest. Their new Force India car ran really strong. They ran a lot of laps. Their car had no problems at all, no major problems at all. And yeah, Nico Hulkenberg saying that the car was absolutely good. It was absolutely good to drive. So yeah, I think Force India are going to be a force to be reckoned with. To be honest, I think they are definitely going to get a lot of points this year, and maybe beat McLaren in the constructors. So yeah. Next is Sauber. Sauber did a really good job, to be honest. Their car was absolutely good. They had a couple of troubles here and there, but overall their car was absolutely good. buckled up a lot of laps, a lot of mileage, and yeah, they've got Felipe Nassi in the team. First season for Felipe. Excited to see what he can do. He came second in GP2, so yeah, shows that he's got a lot of talent under his belt. And Marcus Ericsson, second year for him in F1, first year for Sauber. Excited to see what he can do in a midfield team. Maybe there could be chances of him getting points. We'll have to wait and see. But a very, very strong lineup, to be honest. So, yeah. Next is Toro Rosso, the big ones, the big daddy ones. Wow. Toro Rosso ran good. Buckled up a few laps. Buckled up a huge amount of laps. I mean, had problems, a little bit of problems here and there. But overall, they ran good. They've got Max Verstappen in the team, and Carlos Sainz Jr. in the team. Carlos Sainz Jr. I've got a lot of high hopes on because obviously he completely dominated the Formula Renault 3.5 series. And Max Verstappen winning the Formula 3 World Championship last year. A lot of talk, a lot of hype going to this guy. He is very, very quick, so he could be a force to be reckoned with in the team. Same with Carlos Sainz Jr., so I think there'll be a sweet rivalry going on between the two. And excited to see what they can do in their first year in Formula 1. There's going to be a lot of pressure going for both of them, especially for Max, because there was a lot of hype last year. As he was the first kid to emerge to Formula 1 at the age of 17. So, it's going to be a lot of pressure for both of them, particularly Max, to be honest. So, next is Lotus, and Lotus had a good one. They had a really good one. Their car was absolutely good, way better than last year, and with the Mercedes engine, are going to be pretty strong this season, to be honest. So, they didn't have too many. They had one or two problems, but not major problems. They ran good. Their car was really quick, but I think at the end of the third test, they were sort of in between like 10th to 15th, somewhere like that. So, I don't know whether it's their true pace or whether they were just doing some sort of like race sims or whatnot. So we might have to wait and see. We might have to wait and see in Australia in a week. But yeah, their car ran strong, no problems whatsoever. Well, a couple of problems, but not major problems. And they've got Roman Grosjean on the team. Excited to see what he can do. This is his fourth season in the team. So yeah, he's got a lot of experience with the team. So I'm expecting maybe a lot of points, maybe a podium. We'll have to wait and see. Pastor Maldonado, second season with the team. Excited to see what he can do. Excited to see what he can do this year. We'll have to wait and see how he delivers this year. Maybe we could. I'm thinking that he could deliver a couple of points for the team. So next is finally Mana Marussia. Mana Marussia are coming back next weekend for Australia. They announced their lead driver, which would be Will Stevens. They have not announced their second driver for Australia for the entire season. So they've got to find one because time is ticking for them. They've only got until Wednesday or Thursday to get that sorted. So, And, I hope it's someone with a lot of talent and not someone that is money driven, to be honest, because I like to see the quick drivers, the quick ones, rising up into Formula One. To be honest, because they've got a lot of talent. And they have got a lot of future with them to take forward to them probably winning championships and whatnot. So hope they do pick a really good one, to be honest, from their part. So yeah. And they passed the crash test. So yeah, like I said, they will be in Australia in 1 week. Excited to see what they can do. I'm not quite sure whether they're going to bring the 2015 car or the 2014 car. We'll just have to wait and see in Australia. But yeah, a lot of happy. I'm really, really happy for them to be back in Formula One after them having really tough times, during their time in administration. So excited for them to be back on the grid in F1. So yeah, and so that will do it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave the like button, subscribe if you're new, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. It's your boy, Jabba Boy. I'm out. Peace!